dokie, gentlemen. Are we all here ready to fucking go? I asked y'all a question! As I reveal my giant monkey! That's not as funny as you thought it was, boy!
God, I thought he meant penis!
I swear, the only thing I hate more than weaklings... Hey! I'm speaking, soldier! Don't fucking speak unless you're smoking fucking dirt! What we're gonna do is we're gonna fly with
The talk show at the end of the week.
Space is big.
Star Citizen Base.
It's really big.
Round Table.
There we go. There I am. Welcome to the Roundtable, ladies and gentlemen. Here again, once again on Sunday every week. Well, mostly every week. We try to be here and you know, entertain you with Star Citizen news, Star Citizen talk, Star Citizen salt, Star Citizen sugar, Star Citizen pepper, Star Citizen anchovies, no. Welcome. And please.
No anchovies.
And maybe some avocado.
Only starch, potatoes, and gravy.
Really? You eating on the show?
Yes. Didn't you watch Linux Tech Tips show there where they were eating on the show? Everybody's doing it now.
It's the new hipster thing to do, apparently.
Mm-hmm. They've obviously been watching us.
It's a hipster thing to do. Yeah, okay. I don't know if I'm going to go with that, but whatever.
So apparently right now it's just us three. Hi, Chad. If you're listening and you want to converse with us, you can do so by going into the Twitch chat, twitch.tv/TheBase.radio. Mostly if you're on Shoutcast though, but you want to keep listening to Shoutcast, we have a standalone chat thing, pages on the website, wherever. But it's still Twitch that we converse interact with the chat. At which point you can also, you know, use the question and bracket methods to submit questions, which we will answer on the end of the show. It's pretty simple. And other than that,
everybody's doing it.
Yeah, everybody's doing that. There's some weird ass changes around production. What do you call it? The CIG community outlet media.
Oh, I
shows.
thought you were talking about on the base radio.
Oh, really?
Weird changes in production. Oh, I don't know. Anyways, continue.
I don't know. I was just going off. The ATV is now very, very, very extensive and deep into one single subject, right? And
it was so boring.
Yeah.
That Genta told me it's so boring and deep into it that I just fell asleep listening to Genta.
That even possible.
Maybe.
Oh, it wasn't boring. ATV is never boring. It's always entertaining.
It depends on who you are, honestly. I mean, if you want to get into the nitty-gritty, which is theoretically why people back this game so early, is so they could follow the development of a AAA title behind the scenes, unlike any you have ever seen. Maybe you're getting what you paid for now. Some people are like, oh, I don't want to hear this, I don't want to hear that, blah, blah, blah. I don't mind.
But it's still part of the game development.
I think when they stretch them out for as long as they have, they end up like kind of getting in a little repetitious cycle because there's like 9 people reiterating the same information, and then they kind of like chop it up and let different people have the spotlight for a second, but they're always saying the same thing. And it's not like anything has really changed at CIG. I still stand on the premise that them trying to put out something every week is a blessing and a curse for them, because there's no way for them to give like really groundbreaking information that everybody's holding on to the end of their seat for.
It's like a radio station.
It's like this show.
And like a TV station. I mean, like, yeah. Well, we have a show scheduled every week. It has to be there on point every week. Doesn't matter if there's nothing to talk about. Do it, says management, or you're fired.
For those who doesn't know, management is Rellim.
No, oh wait. No, but I'm like talking about actual radio stations that happens the same way. I mean, it's a hard deadline. And yeah, no, I get it for CIG too. Yeah, like, on the one hand, if they don't do it, because they say, yeah, there's just not so much news, people will freak out. Reddit will freak out. People are like, oh, there's no right TV. And if you do it and there's a little less information, yeah, at least they're there. But sometimes though they do stoop so low. I mean, there's like, when was that? Right after. Was it CitizenCon or Gamescom? I don't know. They had a Citizen of the Stars.
8 minute.
No, they had like a really dumb waste of time Citizen of the Stars on Monday after the weekend where there was that event. I'm not sure whether it was Gamescom or CitizenCon. It was just so... Yeah. It was just so embarrassing.
It was supposed to be a joke or something like that? It was supposed to be just silly?
They could have just skipped that. That was just... There's a line to that too, I guess, and sometimes they try too hard.
I have to say, the new and improved Jared is
Along
new
with
and
that,
improved. I didn't dislike him before, and it's better now.
Yeah, it's definitely better now. And you know what's funny about that, right? Is last week, wasn't I going off about how we needed less community manager input and more input from the people with the know? And that's exactly what they did. And I had no insight into where they were going to take their 2018 production. But that's exactly what I was hoping for. And it's good, because that's what I got. Because Jared asks questions and he gives a little bit of his own flavor on it, but it's not like it was last year. So this is good. I'm happy with that.
What Jared does best is just stare at the camera when he does disagree or feel embarrassed. That's the best part about Jared. Silent commentary. You hear that, Jared? I defy you to come on this show.
Hey, there's people in the chat. Yay! We're not alone anymore.
There's people in the chat. It's a quiet week, like Whiskey said. Yeah. So it'll be a quiet week end or beginning, depending on your calendar.
Oh, that's another thing I don't get. Why the fuck would anybody start their fucking week on a Sunday? Now that's retarded.
No, it's a Reformed Catholic, is it not? That's religion. You probably shouldn't even start about that.
No, isn't it? The old Jewish calendar ends on Saturday.
I had a teacher like that one day, and when he sent us calendars where we should fill in what we did throughout the week, he always used to start with Sunday in the beginning of the table and Saturday at the end. And I just had to change it, so I skipped. I changed all of it around, and when I sent it back, with all my information in it, I just had it Monday the first. I mean, come on, man! It's in business, you don't do that. Business standardized Monday is the first day. Period. It's an international standard too, right? Just like when we use UTC and stuff like that.
You see, Gento, we can have salt in Europe as well.
There's salt in everywhere. It's good. Everything's better with a little salt. Too much salt is bad for you. It will kill you, but a little salt is healthy. And it tastes good.
Speaking of salt, though,
Makes
we
things
could talk a
interesting.
lot about that whole third response from the Crytek thing, but I don't think we should because we have plans.
We're gonna discuss that next week.
Yeah, we have plans to do that
Because
next week.
we have who do we have next week?
What's his name again?
Leonard French.
French.
Yeah.
LJ French.
The
Your
our
favorite
fav-
copyright attorney, as he
Yes.
says. Yeah.
Is that what he calls himself?
I wonder if that cat's a backer of this game, dude.
I don't know.
I don't know
But,
why he has such an interest in this particular, unless it's because like the Reddit is so big, you know? Because the Star Citizen Reddit's a pretty big thing next to like dirty bad things that I can't talk about. I don't know. And yes, Silo, he does seem to be a pretty cool guy. He seems to kind of know what he's talking about, but we're going to find out next week because he'll be here. Maybe,
Facing us.
with us.
The
maybe.
inquiry.
Unless he's doing his homework right now and watching this fucking show. And then he's going to be like,
If you're watching, I'm looking
Leonard.
forward to you.
It should be a good conversation. So,
Yep.
who said that?
And
He actually has a
remember me and
$60
Genta, we're
package.
experts of nothing, knowledgeable about everything. So we take that knowledge and we grill everybody. And if you don't know your shit, we'll know in a heartbeat.
It's pretty simple to tell when somebody's bullshitting.
Yeah, but you can tell from the video he's good. He's legit.
I can believe that.
Yeah, so that should be fun. I'm
That
interested
being
to hear
said,
what he has
I've only seen him talk about Star Citizens because cannot really. Well, I did watch him talk about something else. I don't remember what it was. Yeah, American politics.
Well, that's always an exciting topic, isn't it? That shit's crazy. You want to not know what the fuck is going on? Try to follow that. But apparently he has another YouTube channel about his dog or something. He was mentioning it in his last video.
Dog people, cat people, stupid people.
He's one of those. He videotapes himself with his dog or something weird.
And
So-
he uses drones, I think.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
in-
Crytek is starting its own cryptocurrency, please.
Well, I think they are.
Didn't they already have that
Is it
anyway,
called-
like in-game?
It's like who they can sue next?
Crycash. Crycoins.
Crycat, please.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say about that. I don't even know. What do you do? You mine for Crycash in a video game?
I want to mine for a company that is suing those they sell licenses to. I want to spend my hardware lifetime on that.
Oh, I guess we should mention that, huh, Rellim? That in case you're wondering where Eden Star is, she is currently still preparing for her
Oh, right. Yeah.
third or fourth architectural examination, which apparently is pretty difficult because she seems to be losing her shit more often than not lately. So I think she's a little overwhelmed by the amount of information that she needs to digest. So she told us yesterday or the day before or whatever to fuck off. She wasn't going to come. I can't handle Juntao right now. I got too much going on, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
I don't buy that at all because next 2 hours we're gonna see her in a certain game.
Well, if she's smart, she'll stay the fuck off Discord and we won't know what she's doing. Everybody can handle me, Whiskey. I am the most lovable asshole you're ever going to meet. So, yeah.
You're not an asshole, Junta. You just have an abrasive personality.
It's intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops.
That's right. Cover me up.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck that guy.
Do that enough already.
I don't know. So what can we say this week? Because we still
talked
got
about
a bunch of blocks to go.
Bug smashers. Remember?
That's a thing.
He talked about. What? They're back. He's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he talked about spawning entities.
Well, as it is now in the game, whenever somebody spawns something, that is spawned into the main thread of your CPU. And it grinds everything to a halt. That's why you're, suddenly have dips and freezes in the game. So what he talked about is the first iteration of fixing everything is right now they're moving it into a waiting pattern so that your game doesn't freeze. It will load in the background until it's ready, no matter how long it takes. And when it's ready, it's going to present itself. And then he showed how they could remove the garbage and all that stuff. But he also mentioned that the next step in that process is to move the whole spawn process from the main thread into different threads so that your game won't lock up at all regardless. You will have
but that confuses me as to why the fuck we're not doing that already.
Complicated. You have to remember how many games.
That's what she said.
No, she said something else, but we're not getting back into that.
Okay.
The fuck was I saying? Yeah, it's a lot of games has been using 1.5 core because it's complicating getting something moved out of the main thread. I mean, I've been talking to people only a few years ago, smart enough to program the Mars rover, saying it's completely impossible to get games running on multiple cores. I said it should be possible, right? And guess what? It is possible. It just takes a lot of fucking hard work.
It's not impossible. The part of the fucking problem is we've gone over this shit a million times before. It's because generally speaking, game developers are, one, fucking lazy, and they don't want to change things up and make it difficult for themselves.
And
they want to reskin shareholders and the whole. Exactly. So they're on a timeline that doesn't allow them to innovate. We've seen the same goddamn game with a new skin every year for the last 6 fucking years. That's why I follow Star Citizen, because it's promising to break new ground in the industry, for crying out loud. Oh, you know what? Let's just reskin fucking Call of Duty again and put in jump boots. Okay, we got a whole new game. Bullshit.
You're enjoying yourself?
I hope you're enjoying listening to fucking Tio scrape his plates.
Get used to it, bitches.
Yep. Welcome to 2018 on the Base Radio.
I've been doing it for a while, and now Linus Tech Tips has picked up the pace. I'm sticking with it.
Linus watches this fucking shit. He wants to know how to do it. How do I get better? That's
here,
right.
Yeah.
Watch us, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But they were trying to be all nice and stuff and eat off the screen. I'm too lazy to bend off the screen.
But anyways, that's should be anyways. Part of the reason why people are backing this game in the first place is because it's promising to innovate. It's breaking new ground. It's doing things that weren't done before. It's taking how many different genres of games and trying to smash them all into one giant open world sandbox. I mean, that's fucking crazy. And I'm sure, you know, like everybody had said a couple years back, that's crazy. It can't be done. It can't be done.
I think we do have a topic though for next block though, and it's the implication this has and the complication it has when we talk about hardware and the new standard it sets for hardware, like CryEngine and Crysis 3 did that many years ago.
Well, we've kind of been dealing with that talking point for quite a while now. We, you know, back.
But we have some raw data
back.
we can come back to now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Write it down because I'll forget.
Yeah. Well, we the conclusion is 16 gigabyte is the minimum, but it's not enough. I can tell you that straight off the bat. 32. You just got to get used to it, bitches. That's what you're going to need.
Get your wallets out.
And you need
buy more
something
RAM.
else. First, second generation SSDs ain't good enough either. You need
Well, think
something
about this
better.
too, dude.
M2.
There is absolutely people that are running non-multi-threaded processors. Just straight up 4-core processors. You know, second generation i5s. There's no multi-threading in second generation i5s. Third generation i5s, we're fourth generation i5s now, and those are all multi-threaded, I think.
No, there are some i5s that comes with
just four cores. Really?
Yeah, but it's a price point. You know, the lower you get, the less you get. But the thing is that multi-core, 4 cores with multi-thread, that's probably going to be. There's going to be a minimum, and then there's a minimum recommended. And the minimum recommended is going to be quad-core multi-threaded. And I don't think it mattered that much which one you have after they spread the load over all the threads. And I don't think it mattered that much which graphic card you have, as long as you have a relevant new graphic card. If you have a 970 on 1080p, 980, etc., 980 Ti, if you have a 1070, 1060 on 1080p, you're fine. You're not going to have any issues.
Do you think that your video issues are going to more run into the amount of RAM that's available, the VRAM that's available on those cards? So let's say if you got a card that's like 2 gigs, that's probably not enough VRAM.
Yeah, I don't talk about 2 gig cards at all.
Well, I'm just saying they're out there.
And
people are using them.
This is a whole topic for a whole block. I think it's time, though. We're getting close.
I mean, luckily, Rellim stepped into the 21st century mid last year-ish.
What?
And then actually, what's amazing is he went and he got himself a fucking job, and the first thing he did when he got paid, you know what he did?
Buy a graphic card.
Buy a fucking 1070 Ti. That's the first paycheck, right into the computer. That's great.
I think that was true.
You're
it was
hardcore.
like the first month. I was like,
it is true.
yes.
He's like, I got money.
Isn't that what we all should do anyway? Like, I mean, people call me. I mean, some people would call that crazy. It's like 500 something euros for a card. Nah, man. But I mean, the improvement is very noticeable. Second of all, you're future-proof as hell with this. You can go on.
How many
for
gigs
so
is
much
in that
longer.
card? 6 or 8?
8, I think.
8.
Well, then you're future-proof.
Here, I'll share something with you. Hold on.
Is that a phone wire?
Let's see. He's gonna show you something he
785.
just
Oh, wait.
purchased.
Did that come in already?
No, it's not a phone wire. It's old school headset. This is the old studio headset, man. This inverted? Oh, that's
Nope,
right,
fine.
isn't it?
It's just that the green
fine.
keys out, but
You know
fine.
how much of a pain in the ass it was
To
to
get
get
those,
this
yeah.
fucking card right now? Are you kidding?
Yeah, you had to spend
Crazy.
almost 3 weeks on the internet just scouring and looking
And
and
they're still
getting
freaking
pissed when somebody
expensive.
stole a card from you.
This is a $850 video card that costs like, I was lucky I got this for $1,000. That's lucky right now because they're on sale for like $1,700. Are you fucking kidding me? What
Dude,
the fuck?
Screw those freaking miners. Stop stealing our cards.
And that's right. The few said, I am so glad that I ordered my 1080 Ti a while ago. And you know, I was going to do it. And I said, no, I'll wait. I got, profit sharing and shit coming. I'll wait for that.
You were sensible.
And I got screwed for waiting.
You got
just
screwed for being sensible.
Yes. Now I know going forward, I just reckless as possible. Fuck.
Buy shit when it's there. No. It isn't like that with usually we like that with other products.
I think it's a kind of a unique situation now. But two different hoarders. You have Nvidia hoarding their own cards, and then you have the miners hoarding the rest.
All right. I think it's
Whiskey.
time.
And I heard that Europe isn't having exactly the same problems.
Not as much.
with,
I don't think so.
The video card availability as the United States is. So I don't know why that is.
Well, we do notice that it's out of stock, but it says, it only is a few days before it's back again. And if you're willing to go down to less reputable manufacturers, you always get a card from them.
What does he mean we got screwed on tax so there's not many miners here? What is that? Is that because he's talking about British pounds, right?
VAT.
I don't know how does that affect people buying video cards to mine? You don't get taxed on the coin once you mine, right? Or do you?
No.
I don't know.
So you got to pay for it up front. But if your energy cost is low enough and you got a strong enough card, you can make that VAT back.
It's
relatively
not that
quickly.
cheap in England.
Energy?
Yeah. Norway is cheap, but not in England or Holland compared to Norway.
I don't know. I haven't
All right,
looked into
we're
it.
over.
I don't think I even want to anyway. Yeah. Means it's time for a little music break. Where the hell's my... I swear this happens occasionally. Everything minimizes in Windows. I hate that.
Just going to comment, Whiskey Omega, you think 20% tax?
And what
we
about
pay
27?
25 in Norway.
Yeah.
You pay
I
27?
pay 6.
No, I paid 21. Not 25. Not 21. There's countries with 27, actually, yeah, but it's...
Man, that's crazy. But you got a bunch of stuff that you don't have to pay for, so does it balance out? But that's political, so forget it. Let's go. Let's get out of here before something bad happens.
Quixton. I did a job in Oslo, some years ago, drank 3 beers at the airport. I thought Sweden was expensive.
Who was that we talked to? That was Zokli, right? The Space Engineers Community Manager. He lives in Czech Republic, or
The Czech
Czechia,
Republic.
whatever you call it. Now, it's kind of just like Poland, because I've been to both countries once or twice. It is pretty much a lot cheaper. Everything over there, you can get beer for like 50 cents converted, and those are like half-liter glasses, right? They're pints, not. Meals are cheap. It's.
I dream of moving to a country like that. If I could, I would. Because I can take my pension with me.
You take your money, yeah. All right. There's Yeah, nothing more, actually. We'll just keep talking other Star Citizen subjects after the break, and we'll be back after this little music break. I don't think we have any questions yet, so there's going to be a fun last block. But if you do have something specific, maybe something interesting you caught around the community that we might not have caught, you can get that in as well. Just use the question and bracket thing for anything you might want to submit to us to have a look at. Even questions or just like suggestions for topics. I guess that could work too.
Since Eden isn't here, today is Ask Eden Anything, and we'll answer.
Eden.
I like that.
How do we answer her? Okay. We'll be back.
Because I'll just make the shit up.
So get your ass online, Eden, or we're going to answer your shit.
Hi. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. We are here on the base with just us three right now, as you noticed.
Wait, what? This isn't redacted? The fuck? I'm on the wrong cast.
Redacted?
Son of a bitch. A joke. In Dutch.
Okay.
So,
See,
The
they don't
hardware.
find anything funny at all, ever. Nothing.
Actually,
Nope.
no. Wait, never mind.
Maybe American politics, but other than that, they don't find that
That
much
is funny. Yeah.
that is funny. That's true. That is
I think I'm tired. Yeah.
Friday night entertainment.
Okay.
So, we have talked a lot about Nubifire's video where he went through the hardware.
Mm-hmm.
And he did some observation based on the fact that he has playable frames in the game and a lot of people don't.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's a caveat in here. The game isn't optimized. Right now, when you get into the fucking game, you stream everything from containers from all over the fucking server. Because server meshing isn't in, load as you see isn't in, and a lot of multi-core issues is still there. That caveat being said, right now, what we're saying right now is what's currently, if you're going to play the game right now, it's what we're going to be talking about. He tested, first of all, since he has playable frames, really high playable frames, so good and making so good videos that CIG choose to use his stuff, his videos, as B-roll footage in the background or showcasing their own game, says something. So what he did, he currently has a 960 Evo, and he loads into the game between 20 and 30 seconds. It varies, but then he tried an older Kingston SSD, a SATA SSD, not an M2, and an older generation, but still an SSD, and it spent 77 to 90 seconds. So there's a massive load difference, and it's basically comes down to the read queue, basically the load queue. So on any disks there's a queue that stacks up as you ask for many thing at the same time, and on newer M2s that is relatively short. I mean, on Optane, that's where Optane shines. If you have an Optane, there is no read order queue. It stays as fast all the way. Now, an Evo will drop, but not as much as the older SSDs in the read order queue. But he also tested spinning disks.
Which was brutal.
Yeah, he said
It's
it
brutal.
was unplayable. It was unplayable for him. He couldn't play on it. It's basically something that has been hinted by CIG on several occasions, and we're just saying it straight up and newbie first string. This game is not going to be playable on any spinning disk at all.
Well, you saw what they did with their minimum system requirement update thing where it said SSD strongly recommended. Bullshit. The faster the drive...
minimum recommended is SSD. There's no question.
And it's not going to be dirt old SSDs, old 8 data, 6 gigabit per second SSDs. It's going to be fast M.2s. The new Octane technology.
That's going to be the recommended. The minimum is going to be older SSDs.
It's already on the recommended list. I think when you go to the download page,
it wasn't before.
It wasn't before. Yeah,
that's
it
what
says
we're saying.
Right now.
Yeah, it
recommended
updated.
SSD. That you actually, I think what they mean by that is that you install the game on an SSD, obviously, not just our operating system.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised how many people still run their PC on a spinning disk.
Oh yeah. But because it's just it's so standard.
Well, it's because the cost is low, and traditionally the cost of, solid state data was really expensive there for a while.
Yeah. So what he experienced is that on the regular older SSD, not the M.2, he found, because we're not talking about spinning disks. That's passé 10 years ago. So please get with the fucking times. Upgrade if you haven't already.
1 second, actually. I want to get a guy in the call, but we might have to need to move over to Discord. Can we do that? Like in the Discord channel?
It's too complicated for somebody to install a TeamSpeak client.
Oh.
Are you kidding?
It's easier for us to move over there. Come on, let's just go.
It's just as easy to go to fucking teamspeak.com and download the client and make a name, but okay. We'll do that.
Theo, you got that open? I'm already in there anyway. So that's a quick.
I'm starting it up. If it says fuck with my computer.
Probably not.
Somebody will die.
Oh god, there's so much sound. Okay.
There's some echo going on now.
Let's see.
So yeah, we're gonna continue here in Discord. So now I can actually capture his freaking camera. There we go.
There you go. Hello.
Ladies.
Why do you keep saying that?
Bitch.
No, if you can't get that, I have no comment.
Because Discord is the future anyway, in case you're wondering. Like TeamSpeak.
As you can hear, the sound quality is way worse now.
No.
In the future of sound.
I haven't used TeamSpeak since 2005.
That's okay.
You know why though? It's not because it's inferior. It's because it's better and it costs money. And anything that costs money. Just think about this, right? We would still be using Skype if someone wasn't willing to pay for the upgraded technology to use Zoom.
Thank you, Gentile.
Think about that.
So hello, Whiskey.
That's
hello.
Hello.
I saw you, so I figured like, hey, well, let's just get you on here because you're on your way being a crew member. So.
Yeah, I could do the show tomorrow. Do the music show tomorrow actually, because there's not much going on. So, yeah.
A music show, huh?
Yeah, I'm just gonna play some of the good tunes that I've got without a my hard drive. Just hang on, grab this here.
Hard drive.
My hard drive.
We're just talking about these things. That's old
school. You can
school.
use them for storage.
Very old school, 2 terabyte thing that I've had for ages, and this thing just died on me, which had about 750 gigs worth of lossless music on it. So I've had to sort of redo everything. Don't back up. Yeah,
you don't back up.
Big old block.
Well, I would say that the only thing that drive is good for is for target practice, but you're obviously from Britain, so you wouldn't have a firearm to to have some fun with that drive. So maybe you could
Actually-
use a hammer and just smash the dog shit out of it.
You'd be surprised at how many people own firearms over here. Just saying.
You're allowed to use shotguns, so.
Yeah, rifles
right?
as well. If you can have a rifle license if you're a farmer and things like that.
Are you a farmer?
No, but
Oh,
yeah, it's fairly easy to obtain a rifle license actually. Yeah.
oh well, that's good.
Actually, in Jersey, where I grew up, it's really easy for everybody just to walk around with pistols. There's a really thing that says that any man is allowed a pistol over there. So they have a lot of target practice
It's an
places.
island.
Yeah, Jersey in the Channel Islands, not on the east coast of America.
Then you pay for that music. None of your business, Grizz.
I did pay for that music. So
course.
digital, if you want to be correct
You're
about it.
legally
Someone
obliged to
else
say
stole
yes.
it for him.
So I
I
just had to
paid for
re-download
all of the music that I have access to. All of it.
So back to the topic at hand. So when he was streaming on a regular SSD or playing on a regular SSD, you take basically streaming in-game from a container that is encrypted, and the game accesses and streams the content that you see into memory from an SSD. And what he found was on a regular SSD, it was working fine in the beginning, although the load time was a lot longer to just get into the game, that FPS started to drop and drop and drop because it took longer and longer for the read queue to keep up with the stream. That's why, and as we said on the caveat, right now you're streaming everything everywhere, whatever somebody's doing, and that's a problem. That's going to be limited once server meshing and the load or stream
Object
as you
culling
see.
and all that shit. Yeah.
So, but it's still going to be an issue if you think of it. I want to see further on, longer. I want to see a lot of stuff in the battle going on. I don't want to lose too much LOD. Well, guess what? M.2.
Yeah, actually been looking at that.
And a lagging gives a VRAM.
That isn't going to be a minimum.
Because I keep. It's not like I desperately need one of those, but I keep eyes on the price that they have those available. The Crucial MX300 solid state drive M2 version. It's a 1 terabyte thing, so it's pretty decent. It actually did go, let's see, another 20 euros lower than last time I looked. So it went to 287. It's now 277.
So this
euros. It's pretty decent. That's for 1 terabyte SSD. It's
so when we
used to
talk
be a
about
lot
this,
expensive.
there's just so you said, everybody knows M.2 doesn't mean automatically fast.
no.
Do your research.
Yeah.
And so terabyte drive, regardless of what it is usually faster because it has a larger preload memory running so a 500 gig will be faster than a 250 and a terabyte will be faster than the 500, etc. So because of it has a larger preload memory running, so it's the same thing for the 960 Evo, where the Evo is much faster at 1 terabyte for longer. While when you have continuously operational, it will eventually drop down, and that will take a longer while on a terabyte versus a 500 versus a 250. The Pro version of the 960 is just fast overall. And we remember all that talk about Optane. It doesn't matter which Optane you get. It's going to be fast regardless. It doesn't drop in performance. Even you put it on load, the graph actually goes up.
Wait,
It goes faster. So that's even at, the 10th 10th order of Q. So it's
But we're moving data differently in the Optane style drives.
yeah. So that the Optane drive isn't faster if you're just moving large files. It is as fast as a 960 Pro. The 960 Pro is slightly faster on write, I think, than the Optane is. But as soon as you start sequentially reading, randomly read-write order, you know, even after a while, as we talked about, when you hit that limit of the preload, it will start dropping, and not as far as old SSDs, and not, but that's the thing with Optane, it doesn't drop at all. That's the new technology there. It can continuously load, read-write, and not drop in performance.
Yeah, but it's expensive as fuck. Yeah, so
Yeah, like
so that's the future. Once it falls in price in 2-3 years, it's going to be when the game is getting closer to launch. I'm definitely getting an Optane. Right now, I'm just looking to get an M.2.
I don't even have an M.2 slot on this motherboard. I'm all still running starter.
Asus has a hyper board where you can install 4 M.2s at the highest speed
on a PCI slot.
Yeah, PCI Express.
It's like a riser card.
8 or 16.
Yeah, but you need NVMe on the board to be able to support booting from it. And if you can't boot from it, then it's just a secondary SSD.
For your game, that's fine. And you can move your boot. Most importantly, you can move your virtual drive there. That's going to be extremely important. You can keep your Windows on an older SSD, but move your virtual drive to the new drive, and then have your games on that. And you basically will be running just as fine, because we're coming to the next part where virtual drive has, where the issue comes in. Is memory. He tested. He has 32 gigs in his PC. He has it running at high clock speeds, and he then tested taking down the clock speed really low on his memory. Didn't matter at all. Didn't drop an FPS. Nothing. So he put it back up, and then he took out 2 of the chips and went down to 16. And he had an immediate drop. I don't remember. Was it 7 FPS? Something like that? Drop on.
Well, he had a range. I think it was 7 to 14 when he went from 32 to 16.
Yeah. So it's a massive FPS drop. And that's come back to streaming, because the second he took that out, he's now taxing his M.2 with virtual, right? And so he's able to preload more continuously with 32, but with 16 he had to go virtual. So that's why we say 16 is minimum, 32 is the new recommended. So we've been saying that for years, actually. 32 is the new 16.
I bought 32 when it was way cheaper on a DDR3 board about 4 years ago. I just went, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to do that. But back then, I could make a cache out of it and use it as a flash drive out of the RAM, because games were so much smaller. So we just like a 10 gig game, I'd be able to put on my RAM and it would load instantly back then. But now I can't even do that out of 32 gig.
Yeah. Well, technically, if you have the money, you can still do that. You can load in. You can. How many does the newest board support? 128 now.
Yeah. You get 128 on the new series
on the X platforms.
Yeah, X299 supports 128 gig.
Most games can be put on a drive in there, but
32
Star Citizen. I don't think you will be in the end able to do that unless you run somewhere close to 256.
Well, here's another, qualifier here. Noobifier's PC build is pretty good. You know, it's considerably
It's not
better
bad.
than average. You know, so
Well, he modifies
if you
a lot of
are
things, like optimizes
and
the
he's
system.
absolutely, you know, but he also is a content creator, so render times are huge for people who are trying to create content, you know. So I would advise him to get into the 64 gig realm of RAM, and his
I
render
need
times
to.
will drop significantly again, but that's just on render. I don't know how that specifically will affect the game. I mean, I have 32 on a 4790K with M.2 drive that supports everything that I run, with a standard spinning disk for my backup, and 1080 Ti, and I have no problem playing Star Citizen at 35 frames consistently. So,
And I think you have more. So that's where we're coming back to. He can't run anything when he has better rigs than any of us. Period.
Sure. Well, he used to do a
But
7700K on a Z270 platform and blah blah
overclocked.
blah. Yep.
Which is crucial for what I'm going. He's running at 5.1 or something, 5.0, 5.1.
Yeah, it's overclocked.
And he can't run anything in the background because that will drop FPS. And that speaks to the issue that is right now, is that a lot of the game hasn't been moved out of the main thread. And when we talk about threads so on a multi-core CPU that supports hyperthreading, you have 2 threads per CPU core. So when we talk about a thread, we talk about one of those threads. And the main thread on the core 1 is what most games, most of your software uses. So it's congested. So the game now, that's what we talked about earlier. They're trying to move a lot of the stuff over to other threads. Not trying it, they're doing it. It just takes time because it's complicated. Not crashing the game and etc. It's way more complicated than people think, but it's not impossible. It just takes work. But that means that your main thread is highly congested, and if you run anything, including Discord in the background, that will drop your FPS right now. Will it do that so in the future when the game has been properly, more multi-threaded than it is now? No, you can be running things in the background. But right now, turn off shit. Don't have Chrome running in the background while you're trying to run a game. It's going to kill your FPS dramatically.
It's funny that you say that, because we used to do that even when we were running, what's it called? Those old pre-Pentium PCs and Windows 95, and you had like even Windows Explorer. We would click on the game, and then we would close Explorer quickly before the game boots, because it might save you a couple of it might save you performance. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it absolutely does.
Yeah, I used to run Red Alert, which required a Pentium 75 meg, and I used to run it on a Pentium 60 meg, and it made all the difference of shutting everything down over those 15 megahertz back then.
Yeah. Over the 50 megahertz boost.
So we're still there. That's why a lot of games is restricted, don't want to push it too hard because it's so taxing. They're not willing to do the jump to multi-thread. And it's very taxing on that one thing. So when you run a lot of stuff in the background, and this is one of the things that makes Star Citizen groundbreaking, is that they already made the effort and made it into multi-threads, but they need to move more items in the CryEngine, or now the Lumberyard engine, over into the other threads. And it just takes time, because it's not like, well, it's going to run in another thread. They have to do each thread, and they have to then program it. What if you have 6 cores and 12 threads? What if you have 8 cores and 16 threads? What if you have 16 cores? They have to do this so it's work for regardless of what you have. So it just takes time. It's complicated. But back to the topic at hand, when you then put all of this stuff together, it's a massive FPS drop. You running stuff in the background, you not having 32 gig, you running stuff on an older SSD, or, for God's sake, a spinning disk. It's, yeah. So one of these things costs a lot of money, which is, an M.2. It's not cheap. So please do, if you have an SSD, an older SSD, the only thing you can do right now is don't have anything on when you play the game. Take down the resolution of the game to something that is comparable to the graphic card you have. I mean, 1080p, if that's where you have to go down to 1080p. Most monitors had that supported natively. So,
well, and before we break, let's bring it back to something that we were talking about earlier is Star Citizen theoretically being the new standard for high-end PC gaming like Crysis 3 was back in the day. And it absolutely is going to be. It is today, and it's not optimized. And even after it is optimized, for the PC master race people, that will be the question. Oh, I got this bomb PC. Can it run Star Citizen at 60 frames? That's going to be the question, just like it was for Crysis. So my point with that is I'm in all the Star Citizen Facebook groups. I read all these crying posts from the bitches saying, I'm only getting 3 frames. This game's broke as fuck, blah, 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 blah. You can't consider yourself a part of the PC master race when you're running shit that's 13 years old. Just doesn't work that way.
That's like having a console.
Right.
Actually, that's like having a console that's 2 generations old.
PS2.
You're not in the PC master race.
And it sucks. I get it. It sucks, because all this shit costs an astronomical amount of money and shit, and people want to play, and we want people to play. We want as large of a Star Citizen community as we could possibly get. So my suggestion is, when your mom and your grandmother and your aunts and uncles ask you what you want for your birthday and what you want for Christmas, you want fucking PC hardware or gold hard cash. You don't need a new pair of shoes. You need an M.2.
So and the reason for that, if you look on the screen here, look at Juntao, look at Rellim, look at Whiskey, and look at me. That's why you need new hardware, because that's what you're going to see in game. That is what we see in game already. It's taxing on a computer. It's a massive drain. It's a massive load. And like Nubify said, you might have to rethink what your definition of a high-end rig is. Because you thought you bought a high-end rig a few years ago, ain't any high-end anymore. And you have to think in terms of when this comes out in 2 or 3 years, at least in the beta stage, closer to not being wiped anymore. Is my rig gonna be capable or high-end at that stage?
Well,
anything you buy now isn't gonna be high-end in 2 or 3 years. It's gonna be average, and it's gonna be fine. But having a 700 series, 600 series,
that's not going to happen.
GTX card you're not going to be playing on that. I'm sorry.
I have a fairly good guess at what the minimum requirements for Star Citizen will be, and I'll tell you now, it will be a 970 minimum. On that series of cards, it will be a 970 minimum.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight card then if you use that one, but it would most likely work pretty well.
I think it will work, but you're so close to the minimum that and it has to do with memory.
Well, your difference is Vulkan as well, because they're going to be switching from DirectX 11 to Vulkan, and that's gonna bring up the
required 900 series card.
Yeah, it's gonna.
You think they'll make that
VRAM,
exclusive?
it's gonna be better, but say again.
You think they'll make that exclusive, or they'll just keep the DirectX 11 support in the back?
No, I think they're switching to Vulkan only, from what I understand. DX11 is fairly old hat for what it runs.
I think
so.
It's going to be running. It's going to be have DX9 running as a backup in the background. It's going to probably you're going to have. There's a minimum, and then there's a minimum recommended. Then you have recommended, and then you have recommended high end. So minimum is going to be something that's capable, that have 4 gigs, that isn't too old. And then minimum recommended is going to be anything that's capable of running Vulkan, which is a 900 series or newer. I don't know what the equivalent is AMD, because AMD is shit.
I love Nora's comment. Procedural cities. Just wait, because they're going to melt your video card. You'll hear bubbling silicone from your PC tower.
I think it will melt your CPU more than it will your GPU.
It's going to be good shit.
Oh, all right. Yeah, all right. We have a little music break coming up. We're a little late anyway, but it doesn't matter. Do we have any questions yet? Still nothing? Oh my god, this is going to be such a weird
Quiet.
fourth block. It's going to be so weird.
It's going to be a long salt block because we haven't even gotten there yet.
Yeah. So let's get to a little music break. Please do give us questions. You can just throw in anything that you've seen across.
You're killing the guy. Just ask a question. It can be dumber than dirt. It doesn't matter.
Well,
hey, we have a new guy. Ask Whiskey something. But remember, ask Eden something and we will answer.
Yeah, I can't answer anything you ask Eden.
No, so ask Whiskey.
Okay, we'll be back in like 5 minutes, and then we'll talk some more Star Citizen. We'll see. See ya.
Plied.
I suck at this. Sorry.
What's up, dudes?
We're back. There's so many
you know
buttons.
what happened? Usually Rellim tell us you're clear. And we were just sitting here waiting like
I did
the
say
cheap
that.
we are. No, you did say
I
jack
did.
shit and you just bolted to the job.
He went and grabbed the beer.
I didn't even get out of my chair, dude.
And we were trying to talk, are we clear? And nothing. No reply from him whatsoever.
Our producer is a troll.
What? No, I did say that.
Yeah.
We
are totally professionals, Innovis. You can tell. We've been doing this a long time. Actually, I think the longer you go in this sort of environment, the less you actually give a fuck. You didn't say fuck all.
I did
Shut
say
up.
that. And I'm pretty sure I had the mic open. No. What the fuck?
God
We're pretty
forbid.
sure you didn't.
So anyways, welcome to the salt block, which there's not a whole hell of a lot of salt. There really is, but if you are just joining the program or have just joined recently, we're saving all of the salt for next Sunday because it's a big fucking deal, right? Why is it a big deal? Because your favorite copyright attorney, Leonard French, is hopefully going to come. He said he would be here. I mean, like I said earlier, if he watched this cast, he's probably rethinking his decision to agree to that. But that's the deal. So next week is most likely going to encompass a whole fuck of a lot of talk about the CIG Crytek lawsuit. So we're not going to talk about that at all.
That's
so we
not
can
really
save
sold,
up all that.
It's an entertainment.
Well, it's humorous to a certain point, and we'll get into that nonsense next week. So we can theory craft a little bit about it.
We sort of didn't actually really go through what was shown on ATV. Now, we did say it was just drawn out long and about one single subject, but we did see the Razor being in progress.
Oh, and there's salt on that too. Did you see in the Discords about the Razor's faster than the M50? What the fuck? Blah, blah, blah. This is bullshit. It's got size 3 guns. Now they're saying, oh my God, if I see a Razor in the verse, that's the first fucking thing I'm killing. I'm going to missile spam the shit out of them. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you try that.
This is crazy. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Every
Kids
time
today.
something new comes out, and they're like, CIG,
I don't have it. I
Yeah,
spent money on
right.
something else. I'm butthurt.
Right, exactly. And CIG makes up numbers like nobody's business. Why do you even listen? Oh, it's going to have size 7 engines in this little racer. No, it's fucking not. You don't even know what it's going to fly like. And everything that flies the way it flies today is not how it's going to fly when the PU launches. It is what it is. Balancing hasn't even happened yet.
Well, that
And
is
people
showing
are just
flying. but
totally tripping.
That is
Well-
like all of those footage is probably like internal testing QE stuff. It's like you just throw it in the game with some arbitrary flight numbers. Like, so this is how it handles, but it's gonna be.
It should be faster,
optimized.
Bang Chow. I agree. And there was another point of contention on that ship is, all they did was like took a Formula One racer and took the wheels off it and strapped an engine to it. Yeah, it's
Duh.
pretty cool. Look at fuck, it's cool.
Isn't that what
Whatever.
the M50
I was gonna
is?
say,
The fastest vehicle, period.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, the fastest vehicle, if you look in terms of being able to actually turn in a corner, is a Formula One car. There is nothing faster, period, that can also turn and stay grounded. So the concept is fine. I like it. It's good. Doesn't mean I want to get one, because I would just crash into the first barrier there is.
Didn't I
Or
buy one?
obstacle.
I think I might have bought one.
Razor?
You can't
I'm
remember?
not sure. I don't
No, we
even
gave it
remember.
away once, a long time ago.
I did give away one, yeah. So fuck you, you lucky bastard, whoever you were.
Just probably melted it anyway.
I know, right? And
everybody
now
does.
he's like, oh shit, I gotta buy it back now. It's the fastest. It's the most powerful. It's the greatest ship of all time.
So let's play some devil's advocate and get some salt in here.
Okay.
Why the hell does CIG make a game that melts your fucking PC, that where you need to spend thousands of dollars of upgrading your PC at this stage?
Because Chris
You don't-
Roberts said it was going to be so.
But it's
Didn't he?
alpha. It's not finished. It can only get better from this stage.
It can only require more power from here on
Hey.
out.
I'm
Well,
gonna
only
pretend
because
I'm-
of what
I'm
the
a-
code is doing right now. And if people are going out and buying better hardware just so they can get better frames due to the fact the net code is broken, then yeah, you're doing the wrong thing.
Well, technically, you
Your
will
choice to buy it.
you will have something that is common in 2-3 years when the games come out, and you'll be able to play just fine. So if you buy hardware now, you will be able to play just fine. Just do your fucking research and don't buy the first thing that comes on sale, and then complain afterwards that it ain't that much faster.
Yeah.
No, save your money. Get the 8700K on the Z370 platform. Get an EVGA board with an EVGA video card, preferably the 1080 Ti. But if you can't afford it, the 1070 Ti will more than suffice. And you know, get yourself 32 gigs of quality RAM that has good stability. It doesn't have to be fast. It doesn't have to be, you know, PCI
Expensive.
3600.
Well, hang on, to
It
play
doesn't
devil's
matter.
advocate again on the fact that he's just suggested an Intel, given the fact that we've just had meltdown and Spectre happen on those Intel.
Give me a
CPUs.
break.
Dude,
Give me a
that
break.
shit has
It-
been going on for 15 years and you never knew it. It is a non-issue.
Well, it's not been
Oh, it's a
patched.
security breach. Whatever.
It's only just been patched, so therefore you've only just lost 30% of the performance.
No, you didn't. That's the point. You do if you run a data center. You don't if you play games.
You do. There was I was watching
No.
You
Digital.
don't match it.
I was
I
watching
don't
Digital
patch it.
Foundry do a piece on a pre-patched and a post-patched CPU, and they showed The Witcher 3 post-patched lost 20 frames a second on the same CPU, the same setup, everything. So there
But
are
they
performance
specifically
things.
said that if you are your average PC user, there is absolutely no reason for you to be concerned or deal with this in any way, shape, or form.
It's It's what do they call it? Crowd control, I guess.
Well, look at it this way. If you have antivirus suite on your fucking PC, as you should do in the first place, manage which websites you go to, which porn you download, there ain't a problem.
Right. Stay off of
You're
4chan.
stupid.
Smart.
Don't open up emails and click on links that you don't know where they came from. All the basics of internet security that have been in effect since 1985. You'll be good. I mean, I've had this security breach in every processor that I've owned for the last, I don't even know now, 15 years. No issues. I think it's all shaking the cage and
Yeah, it's a plebs that freak out.
Make a bigger deal out of it than it needs to be, like everybody does with every fucking thing. But I agree with you. It's pretty shitty. But you know what's even more shitty? AMD.
I don't know.
You know what we should do? Get the SARD in here next time.
I'm going to upgrade to an AMD. The next system going in this case.
Get yourself a fucking Threadripper too at that, dude. Get the Threadripper.
No, I don't get the Threadripper right now.
Extra fans.
Unless you want to run it in game mode over half its performance on a Threadripper right now.
Now, I'm not going to shit talk AMD too much on their CPU side. Ryzen 7
It doesn't suck.
is okay.
Well,
it
ask
doesn't
Clifford.
suck. On their VGA side,
That's crap.
Vega 64, yeah.
You know what they said on the most prestigious site in Norway is like, we give it a 6. Wait, they increased the price. We have to get it down to a 5 out of 10. It's meh.
The thing it came out too late, didn't it? Vega 64.
Oh, 2 years too late, I guess.
A year too late, from what I remember. You were waiting for things to...
Bishop's tax returns. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Admiral Bishop's tax returns.
So let's go this route. Let's get off all this bullshit about fucking Team Red and Team Green, because nobody fucking cares. You buy what you buy. You like it. If you find a product that you enjoy using, just use that product. You know, I'm partial to EVGA. I've never had a problem except for one, and they freaking sent me a new card without question. Said no problem. It's in the mail. You get it. You stick the old one in the box, put the return label on the box that will be in the box, and it will cost you nothing. And in 2 days, I had a replacement GPU. No fucking questions asked. So you can't beat the customer service in the United States for EVGA. Like T.O. was saying before, there are built-in protections for consumers in the EU that there are not in the United States.
Yeah.
So it's different here than it is there. So I know that ASUS customer service in the United States, fuck you, ASUS assholes.
And the good thing about Europeans, we don't have to address that. So we have more choice in what you choose to buy based on what you like.
Yeah.
In terms of the products. But for the States, I'm just going to have to go with whatever people that actually build stuff recommend and have experience with. And so far, I can only go with EVGA. Maybe Gigabyte, but not Asus.
I've never had a Gigabyte board fail, ever. And I have 3 of them in circulation now, and 2 MSI boards in circulation now in this house. And the
MSI board,
you don't like it.
The cheaper ones just fail straight out. There's no quality. That's where Asus shines. It's same quality regardless of what you buy. At least here in Europe, because of our customer service, where we deal with the store instead of the manufacturer.
Yeah.
But MSI board, but the quality boards have never had an issue, but their mid-brand and their low-brand motherboards just take a dump. At least every 4 every 4 core.
Well,
or
because they
4
like
card
use
have-
inferior components on their boards when they. That's how they get the price down. You know,
half a year is the shortest lived one I tested. For somebody else. Yeah, and I think 2 years of the 4 ones that's failed. So yeah, Asus and Gigabyte is my preferred go-to here.
and Intel Optane, but we don't have those yet. Only the special people have those right now because that shit was expensive.
So if you want to buy me something, give me a fucking Optane.
Right. So, anyways,
Or
I was going to try to
1080
change the
Ti.
subject, but I derailed myself in my
I've
conversation.
gone back to hardware so many times now.
Jeff Zanelli. Did you watch that, Rellim? The Reverse to Verse with Jeff Zanelli?
No.
Really?
Yeah, no, I watched
I'm
that. That was
surprised
really
you
good.
did. He seems like he described his background as being a garage band reggae rock and roller that
Isn't that what always
somehow
happens?
got into composing. It's funny. And he was very straight and nice, and I enjoyed listening to him. And I enjoyed the way that
That's musicians and
Disco
composers.
handled the interview. He didn't turn it to himself as much as he often does. So that was nice. But he did have a good interaction with him because obviously when you're talking with people, you want to say, oh yeah, my experiences are this, that, and the other. So I get that. So it was good. It was really good.
I'm waiting for that to get that CD that they mocked up.
That was funny, right?
Makeshift CD that they had, and I was like, I want this soundtrack in some sort of lossless format because I just know they're gonna butcher it when they put it in the game.
But you know what killed me, right? Is they were talking about in that thing was, do you ever, there was a question from like Twitch chat or some shit about, are we ever going to get a soundtrack? And they didn't know that in my game package, it says you
That's
owe
how
me a
they sold
soundtrack.
them, like the first packages.
So
included.
how could the community manager not know?
Every game releases the soundtrack as a DLC. So for those who have it in their, they're gonna get it, and those who don't have it, guess what? More money for the game.
I'm not fussed about having a soundtrack in general. I know a lot of games have it. Civilization has it, things like that. But what I find is the soundtrack that they give you is on a compressed format. And for all the work that they've done, going to orchestras and things like that, for so much detail that is put into the music that they do, and then they ruin it by giving you it on this crappy format. And I just think that really sucks. And I want somebody to notice, hey?
I'm pretty sure if they give us crappy format, we'll contact them and we'll get it on a lossless.
I'm walking down because I live right down the road. I live right down the road from Wilmslow. I'm walking down to the freaking office, knocking on the door, saying, "Hey, where's my vinyl?"
Just say vinyl.
Yeah, vinyl's the future.
Vinyl's the future.
That's not lossless. That's not lossless.
Vinyl is pretty lossless.
No.
What's lossless to you?
That's
analog is lossy as fuck.
Beyond.
Well, vinyl is analog.
Measurable.
The vinyl is analog.
Yeah, but anything
you can't get any
analog
more
is
analog
lossy
than a
as fuck.
physical thing.
No, it's
time.
beyond. But it has
your hi-fi.
So vinyl has a very deep, very good, or very hard time doing low bass correctly, and at some point it's no longer capable of producing low bass. In lossless, that's not an issue. You can go as low as your system want, wherever recording you're using, basically.
You know someone's in chat just mentioned Skyrim 2 and Blizzard games. I bet Star Citizen. I mean, at first you saw the scope of the game, you're like, okay, so maybe one disc soundtrack. Okay, that's probably should be enough. But right now they have two composers. No, not two. Probably even more than two composers.
They have two guys.
Star Citizen.
Yeah.
Well, they explained that because
this is
remember
going to
we
be
were
like a
asking
4-disc soundtrack.
Where is oh my God,
Pedro.
I can't remember his name. Pedro. And we were like, where's Pedro? We haven't seen Pedro in a while because Pedro only does Persistent Universe and Jeff Zanelli only does Squadron 42. They're separated like that. I didn't know that until this interview. So that was good. I'm glad because I love Pedro. His shit is really good. And he's a nice guy.
Yeah, it'd be interesting the difference in the musical styles. Considering you're seeing the same place, I guess.
Yeah, but maybe that's why they did it is because they wanted to create two different vibes between the
cinematic,
or it was just too much work for one guy, maybe.
Yeah.
But I would think that they wanted to create two different vibes between the single player experience and the open world experience. At least that would be.
Well,
my
it's like they say that when he said that they have it on for like 2 days in the office straight, and they say, does that get annoying? And they test it that way, and they go, no, it's fine. It's testing expansive, sort of drawn out music, which is meant for you to be in the background, sort of music. So,
yeah,
look at all the Eden Star questions.
Yeah, we need to go to a break again and then come back.
Okay. Well, there it is then. We'll go to music break.
We can't just do this for another hour straight.
He just won't go on.
Spark, no. Okay. We'll just, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's the plan. There have been questions submitted. That's good. So we'll do that, and then we'll put for some music, and we'll be right back after like 5-6 minutes. Enjoy, and
it should be
stay tuned. Should it be? Okay. Whatever. Oh, it's the wrong one. There we go. Hello. Welcome to the base.
There's a lot of jump out.
Oh, shit happens.
What's happening?
The third music makes me think of I'm about to watch the third installment of Jewel of the Nile. What is that?
Wasn't that a film with no, that was something else.
I remember the movie. I don't remember the actor and actress, but it wasn't too bad.
Was Julian R. Michael Douglas?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was with the blonde lady, which I can't remember her name.
No, I can't remember
that.
Romancing the Stone sequel, yeah.
Okay.
No,
okay.
So, who's reading?
It's fusion music. That's what it is. So.
I'll fucking read it. Are you ready? Are we ready?
Let me just get some.
Whiskey Omega is going to play Eden Star for all the Eden Star questions. Is that okay?
Really?
Welcome to the shit show, son.
My inauguration.
Kathleen Turner. That's right. And Danny DeVito. That's great, Des. I remember that's fucking hilarious. Yeah, Danny DeVito. Crap. He played a shady little fat fucker that he is. Anyways, first question is from Innovis. Obviously, Innovis asked, Eden Star, who was the first person you kissed? I'll answer for you.
Yeah. You know it better.
You better answer this damn straight. Because we don't have any clue, I'm going to guess Jeff Sessions.
Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General. Yeah, no. I'm going to say it was her mom.
Probably.
What do I win? Ding, 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 ding. Probably her mom. When she was a little tiny baby. Could you imagine baby Eden? Oh my God. She's going to kill us for this anyway. But
yeah, I'm not saying anything.
It's from Bang Cha, who asked Eden, what was the last game you've completed? I don't think she's ever completed a game.
She doesn't.
No, she gets scared and she starts peeing and things, and then
she might have not finished Alien Isolation.
Hasn't she completed D&Ds at some point?
Well, tabletop.
Do you have a complete D&D?
Yeah.
I think
Well,
real life
technically, I guess you never actually complete it because it's like a never-ending story, depending on if you have a good GM or not, because they can just keep the shit rolling forever.
Yeah, you get
Kind
campaigns
of like
everywhere.
EverQuest. Yeah. Let's see. From Innovis again, Eden Star. How many team kills do you have? That's a good fucking
more
question.
than we can count.
More than I do. I know that. What about you, Whiskey? How many team kills you got?
Team kills?
Like friendly fire kill.
Oh, hardly any. I'm pretty good with that. To be honest, I don't go around killing my teammates.
We need him. We need him.
Yeah, no, I don't. Although what was the last game I played? Like Battlefield 1. So, but yeah, no, I don't. I know what the difference is between me and the enemy. So
That's step one.
I've naded or artilleried my own team, or one of my teams. I asked them, "Are you sure about these coordinates?" And they said yes, and I fired.
it's their fault then, isn't it?
They all died.
That's great.
They've got nobody to blame except themselves.
You know, the same thing's going to happen in Star Citizen. Bring the tanks. Fire on target.
Yeah.
Danger close. All right. From Grizz, this is interesting because I don't know what he's talking about here. Will NVIDIA telling retailers to stop selling to minors have any effect? NVIDIA told retailers
do
to
that
not
anyway.
sell product?
Yeah, to minors.
They don't give a fuck.
But the issue isn't, and I read this earlier, the issue isn't at a retail level. It's before the retail level when partners such as Zeus and things like that send an entire pallet to the big warehouse mining operations. And that's where the problem lies. So NVIDIA really needs to speak to their partners and say, stop sending so many big pallets to mining operations in, warehouse.
Not only that, because they are also selling to NVIDIA. So should NVIDIA tell them to stop selling cards to NVIDIA? Because NVIDIA is building up their streaming bank, and they need a lot of graphic power for that.
Yeah.
So they've been buying a shit ton of cards as well. So it's
but I think that's
they don't buy up all the cards, but the problem is they use a lot of the components needed in the production of any of the cards. There's a lot of interchangeable
it's just
components.
like the perfect storm between mining and NVIDIA bringing up this new streaming service and Star Citizen forcing people to upgrade their GPUs. Yeah. Great. It's great. All right. So Noir asks, what is your opinion on the Voyager Direct Store on the RSI webpage and the impact it has on game balance? Should it be expanded, kept as is, or removed? So the first part of the question is, what is your opinion on the Voyager Direct Store, TO? Because we talked about this the other day.
it's all changing, isn't it?
Look at it this way: if
I
they
want my
change the
fucking
prices,
money back.
Exactly. I want my RSI back, and then I can spend them again. I don't want the
I want
cash
my
back.
fucking credits.
Not my real F, but I just want my RSI cash
No,
back.
they can't even do that
And
anyway.
I'm gonna.
Just a UEC, yeah.
I want
Yeah,
my
you know what I
UEC
mean.
back. I think it's bullshit.
So
Because
it's
they used
basically-
to sell you a Mantis for like 36,000 UEC, and now they'll sell it to you for 18,000 or something like that. So technically, I spent $36, and now it's only $18. What?
Yeah.
I
There's a lot
agree
of things
completely.
like that going on.
And
Can
the
you
problem
say
is the
class
cash.
action lawsuit? I know you guys are in the studio right now watching this. Can you say class action lawsuit?
And the
Bastards.
problem isn't the money you get with your account. Is that a lot of people, including myself, we bought some extra
Bought
cash
currency. Yeah.
to spend on the
Pre-rig.
or in the store.
I haven't. I just thought there would be too many ifs or buts in between now and, well, when I got it in 2013, when I first joined. And then I got the Carrack a year later. And then everything else that I bought, I was like, well, I'm going to wait for the game to finish before I do anything now.
It was more to support. It was to support the game, but it's still the principle of the thing. If you're going to sell something for less in the game that isn't done yet, then refund us because it doesn't cost you anything. It's just a reset. And then we spend the same money again. You don't refund the real cash, you just refund us the credits, in-game credits. So
well, here's another aspect to that. Exactly, but here's another aspect to that same argument is there was a point in time where the rec wasn't a thing. And they wanted you to test things, and the only way to test them was to buy $20 worth of UEC so you could buy the weapons to test, which we did.
Yep. And that's what we want back.
And I got fucked. This should have been in the salt block. I'm sorry.
I guess the UEC market is non-existent anyway, so it's not probably won't have an impact to refund everyone's UEC.
There were so many glitches back then, though. I remember I had a glaive. Was it a glaive? No, it was a scythe. I had a scythe that came over from a rental and ended up in the PU for a while on my main account.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until CIG got a little bit nervous at the fact I was running a VPN and decided to recover my account that they noticed that the scythe was still on the account, so they deleted it. And I was like, oh, I almost had a free ship then. So there's a lot of glitches in that little system.
So what part of the question? Impact on game balance? Nothing. It's part of the game. It's supposed to. It's how they have explained it. So it's part of it. Either you buy it on the store or in the game itself. There is no balance.
Nah, because it's a whole nother debate. It's not about balance. The weapons will be there regardless. It's about continually funding the game. So do I expect to see, the question would be, do I expect to see the Voyager Direct store continue on after the game has gone gold? Probably. And I would say probably, because they need continual funds.
You will only be able to spend your in-game cash, your UEC. But you can't buy UEC with real life money. That's always been explanation. So regardless of how you look at it, it is going to be there. And should it be expanded? Well, as per se, that's in the cards.
Maybe you could I would do it like other games have done this, like in the way that you could use in-game money. A lot of in-game money would be worth like subscription time, like for EVE Online. Now, of course, Star Citizen won't have that, but they could still, do it in a way that you could obtain so much UEC that you can convert it into, I don't know, store credit or something like that. Actual dollar store credit.
Star coin.
And then you could use that to buy.
That I could spend on Newegg.
No, just only RSI stores.
Oh.
Star Citizen mining.
That would be something.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they come up with. I mean, sometimes their methodologies are half-ass and backwards, and they approach something and then have to walk it back. So, but it goes along with the way that they're doing business anyway, because it's not like this has been done before. So how do you do it?
Well, the nature of the game is that it's so far from being ready that they sometimes have to walk it back because they see we want to go in a different direction. And that's fine.
Yeah. And that
just give me my RSI credit back or my UEC credit back.
That grinds my gears somewhat because I was sold under the assumption that like there'd be no way once the game went gold for you to use real money to buy something again. When they said when it goes gold, you'll have to earn it in game. And I was looking forward to doing that.
They always said that you would be able to buy UEC in limited quantities outside of game to cater to the people who, quote unquote, don't have the play time available to them, as some people, will play 18 hours a day and some people will play 2 hours a day. So how do you keep them? It's a tough balancing act because, any system that any game company ever comes up with gets abused.
Oh yeah, you've only got to look at what EA did with Battlefront 2 and think, well, hang on a minute. You realize
loot boxes are fucking coming.
Yeah, you can't mess around with that kind of stuff because you're just gonna have Reddit on your back.
Oh, in this case, they've said it from the get-go, so it's fine for them to continue with that get-go.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. They haven't been hiding anything, and it doesn't appear that anything's going to be behind a paywall. You will be able to earn what you can buy. So it's not quite the same thing as what EA did, but I get it. That's a shitty, sticky topic to get involved in because how else do they continue to fund the goddamn game if they don't have a revenue source of some kind?
Yeah. Especially when it's all online based, they're going to need to keep these servers going for at least 10 years, aren't they?
10 years? Hell, I wanted 20 years. Spent a lot of money on this game.
And I'll trigger everybody right now, and I say, fuck all this shit. Just make it $9.99 a month. $9.99 a month.
What?
Yep, subscriptions confirmed.
If it kept going, then yeah. Because I always wanted to get into EVE Online through that way. Back way when I first started building PCs and EVE Online came out in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
But the game scared the living crap out of me back then because it was too big. It was like looking at something going, hang on a minute, what is going on here? And I played it for about 2 months and went, I can't get into this. And I always wanted to get back into it. But yeah, I'd be happy to pay subscription.
Some would and some wouldn't. A lot of people would lose their shit. So anyways, the next question is for Grizz asks, when does SC start on keeping their VR promise? When
VR is a thing. When VR is a thing. Right now, it's shit. And we discussed this so many times. The movement control is fine. The graphical quality is just horrendous. It's culpable to watching a CRT TV that is 14 inches on a distance on the other side. It's just crap. No, forget it. It's coming.
What I wanted to get was a Star VR, which got bought out by IMAX. And now in Manchester here, we have a VR experience by IMAX, which is now actually Star VR prototypes. But the resolution on that was fantastic that they were going to do that with. But yeah, there isn't anything good right now. I'm waiting for haptic gloves and things.
Star VR is still a thing that's coming. It's just going to come on another brand name. It takes time for something like this to be ready for the consumer market. And remember, both HTC Vive and Oculus Rift rushed their thing to the market to be first or to be close to each other in timeline, and you paid the price by low quality.
I was going to get a HTC, but the thing that really stopped it for me was the massive wire coming out of the back of your neck. I was like, wait, it's not wireless?
The Matrix.
No, it's like being plugged into the Matrix, man. Come on.
But now they have it on the new version of the Vive as well. That they released at CES just gone, which is has an adapter that you can turn it into a wireless headset entirely using Intel stuff. So
you're sitting in a fucking chair. Why the fuck?
A Vive, you're not. You're standing up at a Vive.
You don't have to.
You can, but
well, if you're doing like 3D painter and you want to be all cool and you want to stand up.
Look at this way. In a big Star Citizen game, while using Oculus Rift or HTC Vive or whatever's going to come next new that they will be supporting, why the fuck would you be standing for 10 hours? I mean, I know that the Nubifier likes to stand while he games, but give me a break.
I could tell you right now, my opinion is there's only one useful function for virtual reality at this point, and it's anime porn simulator. Other than that,
VR chat. Yeah.
You're not fucking. Yeah,
Oh, God.
exactly. You're
Next
not
question.
playing Star Citizen on it. So I want to address this really quick because there's death threats in the chat right there. It's time for you to die now. If this wasn't Twitch, and I wouldn't get the station banned, I would share some things with you and invite you to come play.
A desert eagle.
But I can't because it's Twitch and they don't allow that kind of stuff on their streams. So, anyways, from Bang Chow, Concierge, what t-shirt did you vote for? I did not vote for t-shirts.
What? Yeah, t-shirt
I saw
voting?
them all. Yeah, but only for Concierge.
Yeah, no.
So
I'm not
they
concierge.
had like what did they had? They had a big capital
Idris.
ship. I don't remember what it was.
Idris.
Was it
All
an
of them.
Idris? They had the Dragonfly.
Which I voted for.
Yep. And it's nicer because it's full color. And
Yep.
then they had something else that didn't stand out to me.
That was crap. It's not worth mentioning it again. It's that was the worst thing I've seen on a t-shirt for a while. So
Was it Star Kitty?
no, it was even worse. It was one of that turtle thing.
Oh, the Terrapin?
Terrapin.
Terrapin. Mm.
No, the
Turtle.
race. Remember? It looks like a turtle.
Oh, the Jean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I didn't vote.
Oh.
I am done. I'm not giving them any more money. No.
Yeah, that
It's
was
Juntao's turn this year. I'm not giving you guys any more stuff. I'm not giving RSI any more stuff.
The
I am doing
Xeon
some shit for
t-shirt.
myself in 2018.
Was
I
it the
like
one
it.
with
That's what I
the?
said, John.
Is it that's the one with the line on it? Is it with the one that what's his name wore on CitizenCon? Probably. I don't know. Just guessing.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
No.
Oh.
That's
I like the Dragonfly the best, but that's just my opinion. Anyways, Noir asked Eden Star if CIG Studios played PUBG against each other, which one would win? Austin would win. Why? Because Austin has guns. It sure wouldn't be LA. Want to be gangster snowflakes. And
There's
I
nothing
can't
more
speak
to be
for
said there.
Manchester. Yeah. But Texas is badass.
They got some good players in the Manchester office, although I've noticed a lot of new faces on the recent ATV there. I've got
Of
we're
course
gonna
they
have
do, because that's all they're doing is playing video games and shit. They're not building this motherfucker.
I had a studio tour and I saw them playing Street Fighter 5.
How many working at CIG Manchester office actually is from that area? I don't think anyone.
Oh, hardly any of them. Actually, well, there's a few. There's a few. Some are from Ireland. I know one from Ireland. I know a few from Liverpool. From the Northwest, there's quite a few.
You know who used to play with us from CIG Manchester? He doesn't work there anymore, but he used to play with us. Sean Noonan.
John Noonan. Yeah.
He sucked. He was like
Not
the
that
easiest
bad,
target.
Actually.
Yeah.
John, I'm sorry. You got wrecked.
You've seen worse.
Let's see what's next. Bang Chow asks Eden Star. Salt mine or indifferent to female heroine? Won't it be an option if a female heroine won't be an option in Squadron 42? I would personally think it would, heroine, like hero, except for they call it a heroine. The female hero is a heroine. Personally, I think it would be damn shitty if they didn't have a female character for Squadron 42 for
already
the
seen
player
it.
to play.
Oh wait, for the
No,
play.
for the player to play.
Yeah, it's gonna be there. Just relax.
I hope it is, because it'd be like total
Who says
Tomb
you'll
Raider
always
for
be
me.
the same one? Might switch,
I don't know,
along
but
the
they
way.
only had wasn't Mark Strong the actor for the character? Or who was the actor for the player? It wasn't Mark Strong.
It
someone-
wasn't Mark
I can't remember
Strong.
his name.
I
can't remember.
Hang on.
But anyways, it was a guy who did the acting, so I don't know how that manifests
sure
itself
they-
in the way that the
They
game works
thought
out.
like everything else, further along and did a female actor as well?
I don't know. Maybe.
We'll see. Maybe they wanted to save money.
No, the guy who
we'll
played
save
the
that.
player was called Ian Duncan.
Ian Duncan. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many big names, I can't remember them all. But you know what we'll do is we're trying to get Matt Sherman to come on this show. So I know he probably won't have the answers for those sort of things, but we'll save that question and we'll grill Matt Sherman on that shit if he will grace us with his presence. And if not, maybe we can get Jaylee to come back on and do some more pooping animations. That was fun. From Noir, what do you expect from next week's Squadron 42 progress update? Little progress has been made.
Yeah, not a lot, I'll be honest.
No.
I'm going to be the pessimist.
How are they going to do it when they said they don't want to have spoilers? I don't quite understand.
I think this was about the
How you're
gist of
gonna-
what you could have seen.
Was that why Vertical
That's
Slice
much
was
more.
that very particular thing? Because I got the notion of a storyline there, and I thought, well, hang on a minute. I don't want to see too much that's going to spoil it for me. And I think that's the reason why we don't have a demo of that particular level. I think it's very possible we can have a demo, but it's just there's a lot of stuff in that pirate bit that's pretty spoiler heavy.
Sure. Yeah, and that's been part of Chris's mantra the whole time was to not spoil that game because from what I've seen, the story is appearing to be pretty in-depth. And if they're talking about thousands of pages of script and shit like that, it should be pretty deep. So, and if you're not into it, you're not into it, but I'm into it, so fuck off. Let's see what from Imperium Ostia. Why isn't Rellim wearing a helmet in space?
I mean,
that's
like-
a good question.
He's sitting in front of a window. in
Yeah,
the space station.
exactly. I have a really good window washer that you can barely see there's a window there. So,
Yeah.
something.
That's great.
My space booth.
All these Eden questions. Bankshaw has got a thing for Eden. Eden, what is your favorite Nicolas Cage movie and why? It is Gone in 60
Con
Seconds.
Air. Con Air. Because she wants to throw
The Rock?
friendlies out of the airplane.
Yeah. Gone in 60 Seconds because cars.
Maybe. Doubt it. Team
Or
kills.
what was the
before cars.
Nicholas? Well, that's true. What was the Nick Cage movie that Chris Roberts directed? What was that called? Lucky Number 11?
That wasn't
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage.
That wasn't it?
No, that was Josh Hartnett. That was definitely not Chris Roberts either.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Lucky Number 11 was a really good film with a couple of old guys in it. Who are they? Sir Ben Kingsley and the other one. Oh, Morgan Freeman, of course. Yeah.
See how
Wasn't
smart
Bruce
the
Willis?
people in chat
Was-
are?
God of War.
God of War.
Willis was there.
You
God
guys
of
are
War.
on it.
Mm. Oh, he produced it. He didn't direct it, and it was called Lord of War, not God of War. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good movie, actually.
It was all right.
What's the difference
was-
between producing and directing?
Producing, you put money into something essentially, and
No, you
know.
facilitate.
Yeah.
Directing is actually telling the actors what to do. The producers facilitate so the movie gets done.
Yeah.
You know, what does the director need?
Blowjobs. All right. So and I don't know that I read this question when he typed it in chat, and I don't know the answer to this question, so I'll ask it anyway. How does Tachyon weapons, the ones found on the Banu Defender, differentiate itself from the rest, like EMPs, laser rounds, etc.? I don't know.
No, I don't know.
Anybody? Chat? Anybody got one for that? I have no idea. I don't think that there's been any real solidified information on what that's about there. Maybe
That's
they're
way too specific for a concept ship.
super sticky plasma weapons that if it hits your ship, it just melts the hull right through and the wings and shit fall off because it's like alien acid.
Just as good an answer as anything else.
Mm.
Yeah, I have no idea. And it
No.
says he thinks they said it was fatter range. Like, I
Faster
don't know
range,
what
probably.
fatter
Faster.
range means.
Further.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tachyon cannons.
I like big butts and I cannot lie. She's got a fatter range.
Well, it should be a bit
Only-
more. That's the first futuristic thing I've heard in Star is tachyon, because tachyon particles are a thing.
I think tachyon weapons has been mentioned in a few games at some point. We don't.
Is that what it's supposed to be? The tachyon is supposed to be the particle that the weapon shoots?
So it's ammo.
Yeah, tachyon particle. I would imagine so.
Oh, you guys are teaching me shit today. Good on you.
What?
Yeah, see, I don't know everything.
Where do I remember
I know
tachyon particles from? Watchmen. Of course I remember tachyon particles because he got stuck in the chamber, and that's how he became Dr. Manhattan in Watchmen.
Wow.
Tio has this thing here. That
You just lost me. You just talked about DC Comics or whatever you fuck you call that shit.
That shit.
Grizz says tachyon is in Star Trek.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This could be a nerd
I'm not
show.
a Trek fan. Yeah, I'm not a Trek fan. Although I am a Star Wars fan. And did you guys hear about all this shit about the Han Solo movie and the Obi-Wan Solo movie that Disney is planning on releasing?
Perfect.
It's going to be good.
And I hope.
Well, Han Solo's coming out in May. Solo Star
Already?
Wars story is coming out in May.
Right. And the Obi-Wan is another one that's supposed to come out sometime because they're going to try to release at least one a year. So what are they going to do? They're going to fill in all the backstories of Star Citizen from Star Wars in the void of time that was created, in between what would it be theoretically episode 3 to episode 4, because there's a big void of time there. There's how old do you think Luke Skywalker was in episode 4, like in his early 20s?
Yeah.
They're aiming for that.
So there's 20 years of
they're
time.
aiming for that time, yeah. Which is kind of, I know what I want to see? Pre-Phantom Menace.
Prequel.
Yeah,
Like
that would be good.
not
What were
just
the
like
Jedi doing?
50 years, but
Yeah.
further.
Way back.
I sort of almost figured that
Yoda was supposed to be 700 years.
the Star Wars The Old Republic
Was 700 years?
would be canon, but I mean, of course, that's a whole different story.
How old was Yoda in Phantom Menace? He was old
had
then,
to
so
be 650 to 700 years old, because he said in episode 5, I think, wasn't it, that he had been training Jedi for over 700 years. So you would think there's a lot of story there that can be covered.
I'm just saying.
Welcome to the
I
Star
hope
Wars show.
Jar Jar Binks shows up in all fucking episodes.
He's the
I
Sith
would
Lord.
love it.
He's a Sith Lord.
I know. Mighty said, I watched the Obi-Wan trailer, and it is literally about Obi-Wan like losing his mind, trying to reach out to Qui-Gon Jinn from beyond the grave, finding his meditative state and all this stuff. The trailer was pretty compelling. I'm into like more of the story than I am the special effects.
the Solo
It was
movie
great.
is before episode 4.
Yeah, I like single storylines.
So Jar Jar Binks
better than the
come in,
trilogy
accidentally
anyway.
slap him over the head so he gets his head straight on and then gets it right.
Maybe.
Yeah. Sounds like a reasonable plot. Remember what Qui-Gon said. Jar Jar Binks dropped into our, life for a reason. Midi-chlorians, we shouldn't question it. And that's all you need to know. He's there for a reason.
He's the key to everything.
He might be. He might be the new emperor.
Maybe that's what he meant. Anyway, we're that bad at the end of the show, right?
Oh,
But before we actually,
Right.
I want a whiskey to explain what he was doing. He was going to be doing.
What tomorrow? Do you mean, or just in general?
On the station.
Like with the rest of your life, starting from like 5 minutes ago till what you plan on doing.
What am I doing? I'm in an existential crisis right here. No, I'm doing a show on Monday nights, I think, at the moment, at least, on Mondays. I just saw a massive gap in the schedule. And tomorrow, at least, I'm going to be doing a music show because there is just nothing else going on right now. I'd hope to have some guests on from CIG and things.
Talk to yourself.
Yeah, I'm just going to talk to myself. The trouble is, at the moment, there's... I can have guests on, I think. I'm entirely sure about tomorrow or anything. I haven't planned anything. So at least tomorrow I'm just going to play some music and chat a little bit. Catch up on what's going on from this neck of the woods, because I like to say I live right down the road from Wilmslow Studio. So it's funny to live around a city which is quite close to a studio, because I organise the Bar Citizens, and whilst I try to organise the Bar Citizens sort of every couple of weeks, where we have one in Wilmslow every month, and then we have one in Manchester itself every month, so that people can come down on a Saturday afternoon in Manchester or a Friday night in Wilmslow after the Debs are finished. The Wilmslow one's always more popular because it's where the Debs go to drink. We changed it recently from, it used to be the brew house and kitchen. It's now the Old Dancer, which is where they go. Inside information. But it's
that's so
weird. we chatted that we had a great night. What was it? November, the last one we did, where it was funny, where only 4 backers turned up and 50 devs turned up. So it was just question after question, and I was like, I could sit here all night and chat about this. And it's an amazing thing, just, have a pint and talk about old stuff again. I went to the concierge one with Aaron Roberts turned up, and he was there, and we just had a pint and everything, and I was chatting to him for ages about Red Dwarf and all the old British sci-fi stuff and things, and it was a good little thing to have. So I tend to get a lot more news, and what I was getting to was the fact that I can talk about this sort of stuff on my show, and I can have these guests on and things, and that's what I'm planning to do, really. So I need an outlet to do so.
That's interesting.
So it's kind of basically music and you being a windbag, yapping, gossiping, and rambling about Star Citizen and its producers.
Yeah.
That sounds perfect for the base radio.
Yeah. So that's
welcome,
about it.
Like I said earlier when we were on break, welcome to the shit show.
Damn.
But no, it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of work, and it's a decent level of commitment. So if you're going to try to maybe snake some of these guys to come on and talk to you and stuff, you're definitely in the right time zone, because they'll be getting off of work just about the time you're ready to go. So that'd be pretty cool if you could do that. Don't let them weasel out of it. Just push on them, put your boot on their fucking sack, and tell them.
Well, yeah, I know CIG have got some. I hear stuff at the Bar Citizens, and the CIG have got some really. From my perspective at least, we've got some really bizarre clauses in the employee contracts and things. So the issue I have is I can't even have a guy who I know, who I've spoken to and played other games with. I can't have him on a show. He can't be seen to be friends with me and things like that. There are some really bizarre clauses that I think it's just in game development anyway. But there are...
you can't go through their... What's his called?
PR guy? I have to go through their PR guy, really, if I'm on a show to talk about Star Citizen. And the line is as whether or not I can have a guy to come on from CIG and just talk about anything but Star Citizen. But I can't do that. Still go for the PR. But you have the gift of the gab, so
I'm sure it's David Swafford at cloudimperiumgames.com. Just inundate him with fucking emails, Swafford, or what? Just fucking fill his inbox with craziness.
I'm doing at least one every fortnight, I think, before he replies. So.
That's great. Oh, that's going to be interesting, though. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be good.
It'd be cool, yeah.
It's all right.
Like I
Well,
said,
I'll be
it's
back
gonna-
on at 10 o'clock my time tomorrow, which is 5 o'clock New York time.
That's also 10 UTC then.
Yeah, it's 10 p.m. GMT.
2200. Oh, so it's the same time as this show then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Fancy.
Yeah, Monday's okay, I guess it's a good, quiet day. Yeah, good. That's fun. We like more content in the base. Look, here's the guy that does it. Yeah.
Oh,
so
you'll be taking the spot of space debris, so you got big shoes to fill.
Space debris. Oh, right.
Oh,
That was
it's
Monday.
Space
Space
Debris
debris was 5 days ago.
Well, I was trying to get Rico on the show again because I used to remember listening to the Friday night show when he was on it. And I always found that I had to tune in on midnight. It was midnight my time by the time it came on. And I had to tune in every week.
He's a lazy bastard.
Listening to the Howler.
Yeah,
Monday.
hear that, Rico? You fuckbag, motherfucker.
Rated M.
Fucking let everybody down because you had to get all grown up and shit. Whatever. Learn how to adult.
Let's go. Next, like we said, next week on the roundtable. What's his name?
Leonard French.
Leonard French, the
What's his
copyright
name? You
YouTube
better fucking
attorney.
remember.
Of course not, man. It's like names.
LJ French, man. It's easy. LJ French.
Mr. French, copyright attorney, YouTuber.
Mr. French. Maybe he'll talk about the tongue.
And that'll be interesting, definitely. And I guess by then Eden Star will be there. I will see who else. But
She
that's gonna
better
be
be.
interesting.
Book the guy.
Yeah, she booked the guy. Yeah. So, until then, I guess, thank you all for listening. Definitely check out that. What is the name of your show anyway? It's going to be?
Well, Rico kind of came up with it because he said he got burnt out on it. And I said, okay, I'm going to call my show The Burnout Show then because we all feel like we're a little bit burnt out on things right now.
On
so
Mondays,
I thought, well,
yeah.
why not just get a little bit salty on a situation and call it The Burnout Show?
Are you going to smoke big fatties and shit too?
No, I don't smoke. So.
No big fatties.
This is-
Okay.
No.
They'll
Plus,
get
it's
you
against
a
Twitch
really-
rules.
That's a Detroit thing.
Yeah.
It's against Twitch rules to do drugs or talk about drugs on the streams.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does Junta do
Even if
all the
it's
lore
legal.
bits I keep hearing on the base?
I do not.
No. You
I
might
don't do shit. I show up here on Sundays and talk a bunch of trash, and then
Similar
they
with
kick me
that,
out and lock the door.
deep voice, but that's trending. So, yeah,
He's much sexier than I.
it's true. And with that, I think we can go. Yeah. So check out our schedule. Mondays, Whiskey Omega's Burnout Show, 10 UTC, 11 East European, 5 Eastern. That'll be interesting. The rest
2
of our
p.m.
stuff
Pacific.
It's at 2 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on our schedule. is it?
Goddamn
I guess
globalism.
we'll make
It's
sure
not
it
on the
does.
schedule yet, and I was meant to do it last week.
Right.
I was meant to start it last week, but I ended up in hospital on Thursday night of last week, so I was like, oh crap. So I had to recover.
I hope
Yeah.
this
Well,
goes
you know, you need to put it away and zip it up before you close the door. You won't end up in the hospital.
No, thank you, Bang Chow, for tuning in and all the other listeners. Check us out on our it's funny that Weamster isn't here because he would have linked all that shit into the thing already. We have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have our Discord where you can just join in on our Discord server where we all are always, all the time. The YouTube channel which we upload these episodes to, but without the music because we don't have the license to do that. So, but for all the talky bits we do that, so you can still catch everything we said. So it's eternal. But until then, let's see everyone. We'll see everyone next week on another roundtable. That's going to be fun with the Crytek thing. See you then. Bye.
See ya.
See you later.
I support the monkeys. Do you? Check out The Base, 24/7 online radio. Oh, yeah! Visit us at TheBase.sc. They're professionals.